What was it about Baba Vanga that set her apart from other soothsayers, both past and present? How did someone who came from such an obscure village in the Balkans become an international household name? Why were her prophetic visions so highly coveted and trusted by both the domestic and international public? So much so that she was eventually officially employed by the Bulgarian state. To better understand Baba Vanga's effortless prowess and unrivaled abilities, it is necessary to look at the modest yet striking and eventful years of her early life, which were every bit as riveting as her remarkable career. Baba Vanga was born Vangelia Pandeva Dimitrova, in other sources credited as Vangelia Pandeva Gushterova, on January the 31st, 1911, in a small, quaint farming village in the city of Strumica, named after the river which runs through it. It may be helpful to note that Strumica was a domain of the Ottoman Empire at the time of her conception and birth, but was ceded to Bulgaria the following year. The city is now located in the southeastern part of North Macedonia. In most aspects, there was nothing particularly extraordinary about her ancestral lineage or immediate family. They were a typical lower-class family that subscribed to the traditional Orthodox faith. Her father, 38-year-old Pando Suchev, a native of Novosela in the Strumica region, was an underground IMRO, Internal Macedonian Revolutionary Organization activist, who was arrested and confined in the Turkish-run Edi Kule prison in Thessaloniki, Greece, sometime between his late 20s and early 30s, and was only liberated in 1908 following the Young Turk Revolution. 2 years later, he settled in Strumica, where he met and married Vanga's mother, Paraskeva Sucheva, a pretty young maiden who worked on a collective farm. Apart from Pando's political activism, there was little else of note in terms of accomplishment or scandal in Vanga's family. In other words, neither of her predecessors on both sides of the family possessed any unusual talents, much less the power of clairvoyance or any other divine supernatural gifts sent from above. Now it seemed that the cards were stacked against Vanga from the very beginning. For starters, hers was a premature birth. She was far smaller and bonier than average newborns, and her quivering, delicate frame was riddled with physiological irregularities. As she was not expected to survive, her parents swaddled her in a warm sheepskin blanket and rested her underneath the oven in the kitchen, essentially waiting for the doomed newborn to pass on peacefully. The soundless and practically motionless newborn was deliberately left nameless, so as to prevent her parents from growing too attached to her and to dampen the grief and pain that would ensue when she inevitably died. Fortunately, against all odds, a loud, gurgling cry spilled forth from under the oven 2 months later. It was only then that Vanga's overjoyed parents set out to choose a name for her. They exchanged and vetoed suggestions for days, but they were unable to reach a compromise. Stumped, Paraskeva solicited and shopped around potential names from relatives and friends. One proposed the name Andromache, which derived from the Greek words man and battle, and was the name of the wife of fabled Trojan hero Hector. Paraskeva shot it down then and there, finding the name's flamboyance off-putting. She rejected numerous other disappointing suggestions before a family friend finally came up with the perfect name for the plucky, blessed newborn, Vangelia, which translates to bearer of good news, good messenger, or simply gospel in English.